Hello everyone, thank you for tuning in. Again, I am Kaylee Batesman, the Content Director at Chic and Code, and today we are discussing getting ahead and leading the way. I've got the wonderful Vidisha Gaglani, CEO of Streetbees with me today, and she's here to share her insights on advancing women's career in the tech industry. We're going to touch upon the importance of individual determination, mentorship, and government support for initiatives like improved childcare access and much, much more. Hi Vidisha, welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, Katie. Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you on here. We have lots to get through today, but we'd love to kick off with a little bit about you, if that's okay. Can you tell us a little bit about your background and how you got into tech?
Yes, absolutely. So if you'd asked me many years ago, I wouldn't have thought I'd have ended up in the tech industry, but here I am. So I studied psychology at university. Always sort of interested in human behaviors, underlying motivations, and drivers. And that's really was my route into market research initially. So one of my friends was in the industry. Thought I'd give it a go, and haven't looked back since then. Initially, I worked at more traditional agencies, sort of learning the ropes, both theory and practice. But as I sort of progressed, I always felt there were like limitations with those traditional methods. Long, tedious tick box surveys, very slow processes that produce quite sort of surface level data. Um, so I've always looking for improvements in how the industry might change. And yeah, that's how I sort of came along and sort of was introduced to Streetbees. It was through an ex-colleague of mine. And what I really loved about it was a tech first company that was disrupting the um market research industry. And I genuinely wanted to be part of that change, drive that change. And I also wanted a new challenge. So it felt like a good fit. I started leading a small team of researchers at Streetbees, and then work focusing on building client relationships. Sort of worked my way up to head up a larger team of researchers and strategists as well. So getting more embedded within our customers, sort of more business critical, and then moving into the C level, so chief customer officer. And then last year, the previous CEO and the co-founder, she stepped down, and she asked me to step in, which was a quite a challenging, demanding transition, but I rose to the challenge, and yeah, here I am now.
Yeah, no regrets. It's all a challenge, as you say, but yeah, really definite growth. Um, Taking on the role of CEO. I love the fact that you said that you didn't know that you would be working in tech if somebody had asked you. That's so many of our ladies in our community have exactly the same story, and they've either fallen into tech or they're considering coming into tech. So we love that on here. That's why this podcast was started, to hear ladies that
Mm.
find their way into the tech industry and just never look back and think, why didn't I do this sooner? So yeah, you're a great example of another lady that's done that. So our ladies are going to love to hear that. Um, Obviously, it sounds like you've been, your career route was very successful and you found your way in and you found your way up. But I'd love to know, what challenges did you face as a woman in the tech field and how did you overcome them? So, did you have challenges as well? Some of our ladies say they didn't.
I think I've been quite lucky on that side, especially since I would say previously in my career, potentially, as I said, I worked in more traditional companies, quite bureaucratic, very top down. It's difficult to make your way, not as a woman, just as anyone really. But it's just one of those slow processes, and as I said, it's a quite a top down industry, and yeah, you kind of rise slowly through the ranks. I think that's why I also really loved coming into Streetbees. The as a the culture, when I joined. was always about, making your own way, looking at not necessarily looking at your background, who you are, where you came from, but really about what can you do. So it's always promoted equality, diversity, looked at each individual's skills, and you've been assessed on your capabilities, nothing else. So I think I've been pretty lucky, once I sort of transitioned to the business. And I think it's really important that, in order to progress and in order to overcome some of those challenges, you have that belief in yourself, and that you have the drive to want to succeed. Unfortunately, things are not going to be handed to you, so you do have to work hard to achieve them. But it's really important that you also have that confidence in yourself and belief in yourself that you can actually achieve them as well.
Yes, definitely. And actually that leads on to mentorship. I wanted to ask you about in a second, but I completely agree. You have to have that internal determination first, and then you can call upon
Hmm.
mentors to help you, but as you said, nothing's handed to you. People can help you along the way and they can share their advice and experience, but you do have to also have your own path that you want to follow, and to succeed. And if that is leadership, for example,
Hmm.
which isn't for everybody, and some
Yeah.
people try it and then think, no, I don't want to do people management, that is not for me. But yeah, you do have to have that internal determination as well, definitely. On that note about mentorship, what are your thoughts on mentorship? And can you share any experiences or insights into how mentorship has impacted your own career?
Yeah, I think it's really important to have, someone or a network, that you can learn from, but also, someone or a group of people that can give you advice and guidance along the way. I think without having those right advocates in place, women can begin doubting their own abilities, question themselves, hesitate, wondering whether they're doing the right thing. There is always that fear of failure. And I think a mentor can help you along in that journey. I've had mentors in various forms over the years, whether they're line managers, peers, coaches, and I can say without a doubt that it's certainly helped me progress, in my career. And I think that it's really important that mentorship programs and support networks, are in place, for women in tech, because it is a difficult, industry. It is challenging, and having the initiatives that can really provide the guidance, the advice, actually even a sense of community, can really help women navigate, some of the challenges, some of the doubts they may face, and to really allow them to grow in their professions, in their careers. So yeah, I'm all for it. I think it's certainly been a part of my journey.
Yes, and you said there as well, mentors in different forms. You're absolutely right. I think people seem to think as well, you're going to be, for instance, paired with a mentor within your own company, but there
Mm.
are lots of different ways that you can find a mentor. And actually, it is sometimes better for you to find mentors in lots of
Yes.
different routes and in your own company and externally and different industries even, but it's finding them, and also I suppose making sure that you really utilize that
Mhm.
relationship, and instead of it kind of some especially ones that are internal, it's kind of, oh, we're going to meet for a coffee, and
Yeah.
it's like a half-hour chat, once a month or something, and you might not get everything that you need out of it, but you might have different forms of mentorship that perhaps are a little bit more informal, that you get a little bit
Yes.
more from.
Absolutely. And I think when I, sort of stepped into this role, I was also, something I found helpful was also being introduced to a network of other sort of female CEOs who
Mm.
went on a similar who have been on a similar journey to me. And I think as well as that, sort of being able to talk to others, in similar positions, facing similar challenges, was also incredibly helpful.
Yes, definitely. And based on what you just said there, I was thinking then about you just talking about them stepping into a CEO position and speaking to other ladies that have experienced that, and what that is like. And I wanted to ask your advice about what advice would you give to women aspiring to enter or advance in the tech field based on your own experiences? And actually, you just saying there about when you become a CEO and even sharing what that is like. And there we have lots of ladies on here that say, you know what, you step into a leadership role for the first time, or you know, even if you're doing it for the first time, for instance, as a line manager, let alone a CEO, and your team expects you to know everything. And suddenly you've got all the answers, and you know, you're expected to know absolutely everything. And a lot of ladies here on here have said, you know, it can be quite a lonely place as well.
Yeah.
Suddenly, you know, you can't share all of your thoughts with your team because you don't want to worry them. But actually, you just said there, you know, if you're talking to other CEOs, that must have
Yeah.
been a really nice feeling. So for you to think, you know what, I'm not the only one that's feeling this way, or whatever it may have been that you were feeling when you became CEO.
Yeah, it's really true. I think many people said to me when I was coming into this role that it is a lonely place, or it can be anyway, and it is. I think having people to talk to outside of the business as well is important. I think, but I think something I'm sure many, myself included, many women face as well moving up is that imposter syndrome, right? Can I do it? Am I really sure I can do it? And I think again, I think it's completely normal. You don't know everything. You won't know everything. You have to learn it, but you have to give yourself a chance and sort of accept that as well. And I think if you're really passionate about something, you shouldn't be afraid to push yourself and go outside of your comfort zone. Take those risks, you know. Yeah, you may fail, but they will also pay off. I think, you know, something I mentioned earlier as well, you've got to work hard, you've got to believe in yourself. And sometimes you may have to make some sacrifices, you may have to make some compromises, but I don't think, you know, women should always feel that progression always has to come at the expense of your personal life, whatever that may be.
Mm.
You know, really, it can come down to prioritizing what matters, and really being disciplined about it. You know, I do have a young daughter, you know, and I do have to really prioritize what I'm working on, make time for her, make sure I get my work done as well. And I think it's finding that balance can be tricky, but it can be done as well.
Yes, definitely. It's really good advice to you know, just to let other ladies know that you don't have to sacrifice one area of your life for another,
Yeah,
and that there is a good work-life balance out there. So it's just juggling the two.
exactly.
I wanted to ask you a little bit about government support. How do you believe government support, such as improved access to childcare, can contribute to levelling the playing field for women in the tech industry? You mentioned having a daughter yourself there. So how do you think that government support can help?
I think what the government could do, or could do better, is make childcare a lot more accessible,
Yeah.
and you know, help contribute to make it more. I know there is a contribution scheme that kicks in a bit later, but I think there is room to for that to start earlier. You know, the tech world and even other businesses, particularly startups, known for their pace, sometimes demanding work schedules, which it can make it difficult to balance that work and family life. In fact, I also read a recent article in The Economist that was around the impact of starting a family on a man's career versus a woman's career. And not surprisingly, the impact was much greater on a woman's.
Yeah.
So I think it's really key to have that option of having that sort of more affordable, reliable, accessible childcare services that can help alleviate the burden. Because I know that for many, the cost of childcare can really outweigh the return to work. And that's why having any additional support on that journey would only be beneficial and
Yes.
really help reduce the stress of
Yeah.
like that and pressure of juggling those multiple responsibilities. I think that's what the government can really support with. I think in tandem, companies, can also help by being a bit, maybe having some more sort of flexibility around their policies to ensure they are sort of supportive of, be it parents or people with sort of other care, commitments outside of work. And I think that's something I certainly do push at Streetbees, because I recognize, being in a similar position, that having a bit more flexibility can really help as well.
Definitely. And I love the fact that you mentioned startups there as well, because a conversation we have on here regularly is that you learn so much when you work at a startup, and you progress a lot faster. You mentioned the pace there, and sometimes there's nobody there to help you, so you have to just pick things up and learn new skills, and it's very, very rewarding, but also a very, very challenging environment to find yourself in. And that's interesting, you there tying the two together with childcare and being a parent. And you should still have the option of thinking, I want to join a startup, and I want to be part of that, and I want to be part of a company's amazing success story and growth. I shouldn't have to choose between, because I'm a parent, I have to think, oh, I have to go into a corporate, or a company that's already been built, or something that's perhaps a little bit more stable. You shouldn't have to have that thought. You should still think, what, I'm gonna pick a startup because that's just way more fun.
I think no, I agree, and I think again, it creates a bit of an imbalance, right? Otherwise, then if you can't, if as a parent you can't join a startup, then even startups don't benefit, because then you have a very singular type of sort of employee pool there, and that's not really what you want. You want the best people, no matter the best, the most talented people, and they come from all kinds of backgrounds. So I think, the more options there are, the better, I think, for both sides, really.
Definitely. And when I've spoken to ladies that become parents on here, I don't know if you have the same feeling, but a lot of people have said to me, I became a very different employee after I became a parent as well. And that you had all these skills you didn't know you had, like time management and negotiation and, things like that.
Yeah.
Is that something that you felt as well? Actually, I'm a different person. I'm even better employee now.
Yeah, I think I did adopt or adapt, let's say, build some other skills. So definitely prioritization was one, and delegation was another one.
Yeah.
I won't lie, I've been a bit of a perfectionist in my time, and I sort of accepted that, I can't be across everything. And that's
Yes.
why I have a very good team, and a very strong team to support me as well. So yeah, absolutely, learned a lot of new skills, or let's say they came to the forefront as I became a parent.
Definitely. You mentioned your team at Streetbees there, and that you have a strong and a very talented team. I wanted to touch upon Streetbees a little bit. Streetbees is at the forefront of innovation in market research. So can you tell us about some of the exciting projects or initiatives that the company is currently working on?
Yes, sure. So we last September, we sort of coinciding when I stepped into the CEO role, we launched our latest product, which is SBX. So as a company, we've always focused on conversational research, and have leveraged AI and the latest tech to really decode complex human behavior, and we've taken that to the next level with the new product. So we've now use sort of large language models to automate the end-to-end market research workflow. So that's the new product. But even within the new product, we've launched a new feature recently, which is photo and video integration. So we have a community of users who actually take part in our stories, our surveys, our conversations, and now they can. They've always been able to upload photos and videos as well to bring that sort of color, to really bring that consumer voice to life. Now with our product, we can automatically analyze both the photo and video. So for videos, we can automatically transcribe them and analyze them to pull out key themes. And with the photos, again, automatically extract information within the photos to classify, quantify them. So our customers can now benefit from the sort of more quantitative scale, the numbers, but also get that richness from not just from the text, but from different modes of input, where be it sort of the photo or the video, which really helps them feel closer to their own audience as well.
Yes. So from everything that you just told me there, did you think that when you were studying at university that you would be using any of the language that you just used there?
No. Maybe quantitative. So in market research, you do a course in, in psychology, you do a course in statistics. So, so I had elements of it, but no, I did not think I would be using any of the other terms I just said.
Yeah, but the way that you talk about Streetbees is where you talk about it with such passion, and working in tech obviously sounds very natural to you, and being able to communicate that just where you're moving forward as a company sounded like it's very progressive, and you don't have to be a coder, for instance, to work in technology. The way that you managed to talk about what you're doing and where you're going was brilliant there. I always have just wondered when you said it, and I thought, what, you said that you fell into tech, so it sound like you fell into tech.
Yeah, I've learned a lot along the way. That's the other sort of, I guess, upside as well, moving into a world where it's sort of linked to what you did, but also transformational. You do learn a lot, and I think that's something that's helped me in my journey as well. I've learned a lot on the tech side, which I wouldn't have had the opportunity to do working at a more traditional company.
Yes, yeah. And based on what you just mentioned there about Streetbees, what's next for Streetbees in terms of moving forward, and your team? What do you envision next?
I think really we are focusing on the new product. The market research industry is going through huge transformation right now with tech at the forefront. There are a lot of new Gen AI players entering the market. And I think that is going to be the way forward. Our customers are no longer willing to wait months on end, pay through the roof to get access to real quality consumer insights. And I think that means you have to move with the market, but also bear in mind that there is also the side where our customers are also not willing yet to move away from that human expertise. That still remains critical. It gives them assurance, it gives them the confidence that there are guardrails around to make sure whatever they're getting, what they're receiving to make business decisions is still accurate. So I think for us, really, we are going to continue, innovating, progressing the product. We built that product on, over 10 plus years of expertise in conversational research, but also leveraging technology. We built our own proprietary models, that are, trained by the experts. We do have a team of researchers and strategists who actually train our models, and that's based on years of domain expertise as well. We'll continue to blur the lines between quantitative and qualitative. Customers shouldn't also have to compromise, right? We can offer both. We have our own global community, so we can reach users anywhere in the world to make sure our customers are getting insights from not just your top 5 markets, but also from new markets, emerging markets. And I think we already work with some of the world's leading brands. So really, it's really just sort of continuing on that path and taking that our product to to new lengths, to new levels, maintaining what was at our core though, which was very much about letting consumers talk to us in their own words, whether it's in text, audio, video, through photos, and taking all of that really rich, unstructured data and making sense of it for our customers.
Yes, yes, in a very fast-paced world, which is
Yeah.
technology. One of those buzzwords at the minute as well is artificial intelligence, and I wanted to pick your brains on that a little bit. How do you see AI revolutionising the market research landscape, and what role does Streetbees play in this transformation?
Yeah, I would say I think I touched on it a bit already. So I think I sort of maybe answered a bit of that because I think it's really about making things faster, easier, more cost efficient. And that's how it is really transforming the industry. That's how it's moving the industry forward. And different companies use it in different ways. And I think the way for for us is that we do have that competitive edge because of the experience we have already, because of the team we have that crosses, engineers, product, researchers, operation specialists. We've got a lot of the uh, domain expertise combined with the technical expertise already in place because of how we started. And I think really, as we move forward, that I don't think, the industry certainly isn't ready for, to be fully run on by AI. Like I said, our customers still value the human expertise. And I think what AI is really doing is augmenting it, making it easier, making it simpler, not just for the customers, but for us as well. And I think that's where the industry will move. And I think to really remain on top, you have to keep innovating. You have to keep offering something that's different, but not just different, that's better. And that's what we always have at the top of our minds as well as we sort of look at how to develop the product.
Yes, and you are right. It's that mindset of it is making things better and more efficient. There are always those headlines around AI, and people are still very nervous of what it's doing. And like you said, it's having that balance as well of a human still being involved in that. There's
Mhm.
still that element of a human being involved there. But as you said, it is just making sure that AI is being used to make things faster and better, and finding that balance for your consumers is so important. Vidisha, we're almost out of time. I just wanted to ask you one last question, out of curiosity. If you were speaking to your younger self, is there any advice that you would give yourself before you came into the tech industry and also before you became CEO?
Um, I think I would have said, um, to not limit myself, right? So to keep, and I think I did do this, but to keep the options open, to think broadly, to really not limit your own growth. So had you asked me as my younger self, did I ever think I would become CEO? No. Forget working in the tech industry as well. I think all of that combined. But I think, look, if you've got the drive, you've got the ambition, you want to succeed, you want to grow, you want to take on new challenges, don't ever limit yourself. Keep pushing. And I think you also find your path as you go through. You don't always know when you're young what you want to do, and I don't think that's a problem. Like, you don't have to make all your decisions at that age. Start on the path, see where it takes you, and then, yeah, once you know what you want, yeah, just go for it, really.
Yes, I completely agree. You don't have to make all the decisions when you're young, and know exactly what you're going to do. And as I mentioned right at the start of this, so many of our community transition into tech at different stages in their careers.
Mhm.
And it's always inspiring to hear when ladies have done that and have been successful with that as well. So I completely agree with you. You don't have to have all the answers even
No.
after graduation.
Even at 25, I don't think I had the answers.
Yeah, I think a lot of us have felt that felt that along the way. Vidisha, we are out of time already. It's been an absolute pleasure chatting with you today. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to come in and have a chat with us. It's been really invaluable, so thank you.
Thank you. It's been great. It's been really enjoyable. So thank you for having me again.
Thank you. But everybody listening, as always, thank you so much for joining us, and we hope to see you again next time.